literally spent $10,000, $12,000 on this. I always swore that I would never spend that much on a wheel balancer, but obviously I buy one. This is like the fourth or fifth one I've had since I worked here. It's not bad considering how long I've been here. It's a good machine. It does a very, very good job, and it repeats. Every time, if I had that same wheel up here 50 times, it'll tell you the same amount of wheel weight in the same place every single time. And that's how you know a wheel balancer is good. You take the car out, it doesn't vibrate, doesn't do anything like that. And then if you take everything off, take all the wheel weights off, and you redo it, and it just repeats. That's when you know you got a good machine. So this particular machine is obviously registered to us. It has a special drum in this thing. This is called a road force variation drum. So what they've done, what Hunter has done, is they are trying to mimic the tire being on the road surface. That's their goal. Okay. To do that, they're going to get this thing on spin. They're going to kind of balance it, and they're going to put this drum against the tire. It's going to kind of squish the tire a little bit. It's going to roll some more. And they're going to actually be able to tell if this thing is going to be balanced on a road surface, not as opposed to just spinning freely. Okay. So to turn that on and off, you just touch it. It's on touch screen. So road force variation, so that's that. You touch it again, you get with straight track. What straight track is very interesting. It's up here in the very corner. If you have a car that's not a real old car, and you put inner and outer tire rod ends on it because you're a little loose, you put some ball joints on it, it's a little bit loose, you probably have good front end parts on it, and then you do an alignment on it, a four-corner, four-wheel alignment, and the customer comes back and complains that it drifts. So what that means is you let go of the wheel and it eventually goes to oncoming traffic, or it eventually goes into the ditch, left or right. Okay, but it drifts. Takes a real long time, but it does drift. So you're like, okay. So you start checking tires. Yeah, and the tires are, the wear pattern's kind of funny on them. Some of them got pretty good tread, others got bad tread, and because the tread is different, the diameter of the tire is different. So that'll cause the car to drift. So you talk the customer to buy new tires. So they buy new tires, and you balance them. And the car comes back 3 or 4 days later with the same complaint, that the thing still drifts. So what the straight track for is you do this. So you hit straight track, you balance all 4 tires, and it will tell you where to put each tire. Right front, left front, and then the same thing in the rears. And that will help straighten out that issue. It's that precise. And basically what they're doing is they're getting the exact the exact circumference of the tire, and then they will locate those to help the car drive straight down the road. That's what straight track's all about. I never use it, but it's there. Okay. And then if you want to, you can balance it, just balance it without road force variation. You just hit this against, and hit your next. So I can use that. We're going to use road force variation for this. Down here, it's got a service manual on here. So let's say that this is off a Jeep, and you can scroll down. It's very sensitive, and as far as I can, I think that I have big fat fingers, so I tend to hit the buttons all this time. It does 12-ish. Say that it's off of, let's say, grams. So it tells you what color adapter to use, okay? And then what the bolt pen is and all that kind of stuff. Okay, great. So we'll use this wheel and tire assembly, and I'm pretty sure that that's what this thing's going to come from. Jeep, I think. Here's the wheel adapter. It's marked green, and they're all color coded like that. It's got 2 adapters in one. You're going to do this from the back, and it should go into that hole about halfway, and it should literally kind of swivel around in there a little bit. Okay. If it goes in and bottoms out, that's not what you want. Or if it doesn't go in, obviously that doesn't work either. So the other side of this doesn't go in the hole. The other side goes in and see it kind of floats in a little bit. Okay, now we're going to put this on just like you're going to put it on a car. So the most fragile part of this entire machine is this right here, this arbor. Here it fits nice and tight. And if you're from Lincoln and you drove on a bus, you can leave. If you drove with a car, you stay. Okay.
I got a doctor's appointment to do. I actually have to.
Okay, then go. All right. So then So when you lift this thing up here, and like I said, we didn't buy the super fancy adapter like this. Lift this thing up to put it on. You got to be careful not to be damaging this thing. Hold that there. Our big wing nut here. Make sure you don't put that. Don't cross with that. This black settle here is a brake. Hold the brake. Tighten this baby up. Okay, like that, nice and tight. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Now, next thing we gotta do is we gotta make sure it's got right around air in it. So once this air hose is out of its holster, it won't start. Okay, so it's got to be this holster doesn't do it. Move this around, belt stem cap off, put this under, it'll stand there by itself, and then you can change what you want the air pressure to be. I meant to put the air in the tire for you. How sweet is that? Right at 32 psi. Back to the holster here. Done. Now stem cap on. And then just to spin, doesn't do anything. Just close the hood. Now, the thing that I did wrong here, is I didn't check any weights. Just gotta make sure there's no mud. The wheel weights are off, put on both sides. Yeah, I know. Trying to force it to stay. We'll rebalance it. Now that I took the weight off of it. Okay, this came up because I forced it to do something. Here's what it's saying. They want that wheel weight. See what this red line is? Come over here. They want it on the inside. Okay. See where this line crosses that rim right there? That's where they want that 1/4 ounce of weight. Oh, just so happens I have a 1/4 ounce of weight there. This one. Okay. Don't find the light and stare into it. Probably hurts you. Now, the nice thing is all these wheel weights have a hole in them for the wheel weight pliers, like that. Just find that laser. Put the laser right between the hole and the center of it. You know you're perfect. But I work the brake too. You're doing this. Oh, don't hit your finger. Okay, kids do that. I hit my finger. No, I was just checking it. So here's what they're telling you here. If you were putting a tape weight in and you don't want to see the tape weight, they have a way to do this so you can hide it behind one of these spokes. It's kind of cool if you have to look at your wheel weights. How cool is that? Okay, let's do a little here. We do have stick-on weight. All right. So the other thing, I'm going to show you where else we can do this. And I can get into that. See, for example, you want to put tape weights on. Let's just touch this, and it puts it down there for you. So if you're doing new clip-on weights, because a lot of things clip-on weights, it's aluminum ring that's been clear coated. You ship that clear coating and instantly the moisture gets. Just stand there like a person. Okay. Once you chip that clear coating, the moisture gets behind it and it just destroys it. It starts to corrode and all sorts to come come off, makes a mess out of the wheel. The ones on my truck all have to come off and be blasted, and I'm gonna have them powder coated instead, silver, and they'll look okay, look good enough for the truck. So anyway, so if that's the case, go to where you can go, just stick on the inside. We're not gonna tear that rim all off. Just make sure that before you start doing that, you take all the wheel weight off, and if it's got a real filthy rim, dirty, dusty, scrub all that up outside, away from where I have to walk into the door. Nothing worse every day coming in and walking through mud. Questions on that? Questions? It's got all the kinds of things on here as we kind of use it more. It keeps track of how much savings we've done in wheel weights and stuff. It's a crazy sheet. It does have a couple more options I'm not going to show you because it'll automatically kind of tighten or loosen, but I don't want to show you all that stuff. Get your fingers caught in it somewhere. Along the side here, there's all these extra adapters. You have all these. The pin plate that I was telling you about, that's the pin plate. Okay. So if you have a wheel that's got like the aluminum wheel without plastic insert, this is what you use on that. And then we got an adapter weight on there for big wheel, and some adapters and stuff over here. Other kind of big, big truck kind of style things and stuff. We don't know if we've ever used that. We have the pin plate, but nothing else. When you're done with this, hold that clockwise. Remember, don't let it drop. I'm gonna have to call the service rep. He said he's a nice guy, but he's a little special. And when you're done with the machine for the day, shut it off. Push the button. Shut it off. Okay. All right.